You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, y'all? Happy Friday. How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Well, I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Ladies, if you don't already know, I do have a separate channel specifically for women. Goes by the name of Mocha's Ladies Lounge. So if you rather be in a space in which it's just mostly women, I get it. A lot of these spaces are not very friendly when it comes to women. So you're welcome to subscribe over there. Or indeed, you can subscribe here as well. And I will definitely say I'm fortunate. I have really good subscribers. I have a lot of men and women who can mingle in the chat room respectfully without going at each other's throats. So a lot of how a channel is operated has everything to do with the host. You have a lot of these content creators that they pretty much don't have an issue with how people disrespect each other, how they subscribers disrespect each other in the chat room. They let the men come at the women all kind of way, or let the women come at the men all kind of way. And I just believe in respect is due to everybody. Respect should be equal. It's just something that's just due to everybody equally. That's basically what I'm saying. So nevertheless, I definitely wanted to get into this right away, y'all. I wanted to talk about this. If y'all been keeping up with my community tab, those of you who are subscribed to me and receiving my notifications, every once in a while I will post in the community tab that I have some upcoming content topics that I'm going to be discussing. So one of the most recent topics that I had uploaded in the community tab was, help my husband is miserable, co-parenting with his bitter baby mama. So, I come on here from time to time, and I've always done many topics. I've always, did content about bitter baby mamas, baby mama drama, having a co-parent, with women that are bitter, women that are difficult. So I've spoken on this various times. However, I never really touched upon what the women who are with men who have baby mama drama, nobody really ever talks about that. Now, some of these red pill spaces, these male dominated channels, they want to go in on, bitter black women, who happen to be single mothers. And basically, they're always having an issue with, women who, have the upper hand when it comes to the children, and they take advantage. And a lot of it has to do with the way the system is designed. A lot of it has to do with the way the laws are created. And I really strongly believe that when it comes to the family courts, most of the laws are very biased. Most of the laws are in the best interest of the mother rather than the actual child. And there's this stigma that automatically a woman is just the better parent. She's just a better fit candidate, simply because biologically women are the ones who have the children, as far as bearing them and giving birth, conceiving the child. So it's automatically this notion that women are automatically are assumed to be the better parent. And a lot of us, anybody who has encountered women who do not take care of their children, women who maliciously use their children to get a meal ticket, we know is different. That Just because a woman gives birth to a child, it does not automatically make her the better parent. But unfortunately, the system has a design that whatever decisions that's made for the child, it's best that the mother has the majority of the rights, the majority of the say so, because again, the system is very biased. Instead of them looking at what parent is better for the child financially, who could provide better, who's the better parent as far as being mentally stable, being able to raise the child within adequate care, within adequate upbringing. The system, unfortunately, is very flawed when it comes to the courts. So, unfortunately, most women, regardless of her financial situation, if she's not one that's responsible in paying her bills, if she's not one that's mentally stable, meaning she's going from house to house, going from man to man, making a lot of poor decisions that affects her child, the courts don't consider any of this, and that's just the bottom line. And this is the reason why a lot of men catch hell trying to fight to get full custody. Many men have been blessed and was able to get full custody, so it's not something that's impossible. But the truth is, it is very difficult because a lot of these courts, again, are very biased, and they look out for the best interest of the mother rather than the best interest of the child. But what I want to get into, y'all, I've had a couple of women who done reached out to me, and it's always men coaching other men to stay away from single mothers. But the truth of the matter is, you have a lot of single fathers out here. I know women who didn't have any children and got involved in a relationship with a man who had kids. And the truth of the matter is, for you guys out there, if you are not still married to your baby mama, if you never married your baby mama, guess what? It's going to be a woman that you're going to end up in a relationship with or end up getting involved with. She's going to have to accept your baggage. This is not just an issue for men to deal with when it comes to single mothers. This is also an issue for women who don't have children, who get involved with men that are single fathers. Because if you're not married to the baby mama, if y'all are divorced, then you are a single father, bottom line, because you have children from a woman you're not married to, or you're no longer in a relationship with them. So, anyway, back to the issue at hand. There's a lot of men out here who have children from toxic, bitter baby mamas, and they do not understand the frustration that the women who are with them, what they have to go through. It's not enough of people speaking on the women who support these men, who are spouses, who are companion. Women who deal with this type of bullshit, they don't get a lot of props. You know what I'm saying? They don't get the recognition and the respect they truly deserve. They just don't, I just don't think there's enough of appreciation for women who get involved with single fathers who have children from toxic, delusional, dysfunctional baby mamas. And that's where I come in today. So you're going to hear it here first. But before we go into the sermon, before we go into the topic, I don't know who the hell this is calling me, but before we go into the topic or anything, I want us to basically, I want us to talk about, the dynamics and the frustration and the challenges that come with getting involved with the man who has children, because nobody really ever talks about this. And the truth of the matter is, I have had many women reach out to me and say, Mocha, my husband, he's not getting it. My fiance, he's not getting it. Truth is, a lot of you men are not getting it. You're so oblivious. Either you're oblivious, or either you just really don't care, or either you have just learned to adjust to the toxicity of having to deal, with the things you have to deal with in order to have a relationship with your child. But nevertheless, blended families have always had a lot of challenges. Truth be told, if you can get involved with somebody who does not have children, whether a man or a woman, I would highly recommend that. I would highly recommend not getting involved with the person who has children from a previous relationship, because you won't even have to deal with the baby mama drama, okay? Y'all will be starting y'all family fresh. Y'all will be, learning as you go how to co-parent, and this would be a blessing specifically just between you and that person. It's not an outsider. It's not a third party who opinion you have to get every time y'all want to make a move, or anytime y'all have some big decisions to make. You don't have to get third party approval. But in the real world, we know that the chances of meeting somebody who don't have children, especially if you pretty much in your 30s or above, it's going to be hard finding a man or a woman who does not have children. And also sometimes, in many cases, the person that's compatible for you is the person who just so happens to have children. So you can't help who you love. If chemistry is there, chemistry is there. And that's just the bottom line. Just the point of the matter is, now you just so happen to have chemistry with somebody who has baggage, because that's what it is. Children are baggage. They're a blessing, but they're baggage, because they cost money, they cost time, they cost patience, and depending on how you handle your business as a parent, you can raise your child to become a blessing to you, or you can raise your child to become a burden. But let's get it popping. I have all these ladies. I've been reading y'all emails, and a lot of y'all have been reaching out to me. You're frustrated with your husband, and some of you guys, y'all don't understand why your wives are frustrated. You don't understand why your fiance is frustrated. But that's where I come in at. I'm going to break down all the elements and everything today. So hopefully, today's content will give you some type of insight, maybe to give you some type of jump start as to maybe you need to reconsider how y'all both come together and go about trying to come up with a solution that's going to benefit the both of y'all, where you can still take care of the child, still be there for the child, but at the same time, you're not compromising your happiness or your peace of mind in your household and in your marriage. So the first thing I wanted to discuss is a lot of you men, y'all are not always upfront about how toxic your baby mama is. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of y'all are not going to be upfront because either one, you're in complete denial yourself. You don't want to believe your baby mama toxic, even though your mama told you, your sister told you, your brother told you, your neighbors told you, your supervisor told you. Everybody told you your baby mama is batshit crazy. But you are just in complete denial because you have learned to conform to her toxic ass ways to the point where you've become Novocaine to it. You numbed it out. But the problem is, what some of you men have to understand, just because you have learned how to numb it out, it does not mean people who deal with you or people who are relationships with you, it does not mean that they're not going to feel affected by it. Just because you done made yourself accustomed to her being crazy, you done made yourself accustomed to your baby mama being disrespectful, handling you all kind of way, your way of dealing with her as by not dealing with her. Keep in mind, everybody's not going to just, learn to conform to the toxicity. And a lot of you men, unfortunately, y'all have a bad habit of doing that because y'all don't like drama, and I get it. Men, y'all are very allergic when it comes to drama. Y'all hate it. Y'all can't stand it. That's just not part of y'all nature. But the funny part is, y'all always get involved with drama bitches. That's the crazy part. Y'all men, y'all hate drama, but y'all get drama bitches, and then y'all get drama bitches pregnant. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, this is a big problem. You men who have children, you just done learn to adjust to who she is. So once you done learn to adjust, because you realize you can't change her, and not saying that you should try to change her, because that's a grown woman at the end of the day. There's nothing you can do with that. But The problem is you expect other people to join forces with you in understanding the toxicity. And that is not going to work, especially when it comes to the opposite sex. When it comes to your wife, your fiance, your girlfriend, women, we have a way of reading women. You may know her as your baby mama, but we know her as being a malicious ass broad. So it's one of those things where only a man would truly know a man, and only a woman would truly know a woman. And I remember me and my husband, we used to get in like little arguments about, stuff that men would do and women would do. He would like tell me stuff like when I would tell him like, like for instance, one time I came out the gas station and my husband was pumping gas. And as I was coming out the gas station, this guy approached me and he gave me $20. And he said, ma'am, you dropped this on the ground, as you was going in to the store. I said, oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I didn't even know I dropped the money. So I'm walking to the car after my husband got done pumping the gas. And we get in the car. He said, this mother effer. And I'm like, what? He said he was there the whole time. And the guy knew, obviously, me and him was together, and instead of giving him the $20, the guy waits until I get out the store. You get what I'm saying? To give him the $20. Now, me, I ain't thinking nothing wrong with it. Me being a woman, I ain't thinking nothing wrong. I'm thinking the dude is being respectful. He being courteous. That's nice of him. He found the money instead of keeping it. He gave it to me. I'm not taking it deep like that. My husband, on the other hand, he was like, dude trying to be funny. That was his way of trying to, work his little mojo, whatever. I can't remember how my husband worded it correct, how he exactly worded it. But basically, my husband was saying the dude was being slick. You know what I mean? Because when the money first dropped, he could have handed it to him and said, look, your wife dropped this on the way going. He said, make it so bad. I saw when the guy picked up the money, but I didn't know it was the money you had dropped. But I know he know you was with me. He could have lent the $20 to me and said, here, your wife dropped this. That infuriated my husband, and it made him so mad, not with me, but with the way the guy had did it. And I'm like, I'm me being a woman, I'm not peeping nothing that deep, you feel me? But it's been times too when I would see females do little slick stuff. Like I would notice, like one time, this one waitress we had, she just kept filling up my husband's glass, but she wouldn't fill up my glass. Coming back to the table every 10 minutes. Do you need anything, sir? Is the coffee hot enough for you? Do you want me to make it hotter? And I'm like, really? I mean, you don't see me? You don't see all this fabulousness here at the table? And you're not even going to acknowledge and at least play it off and say, ma'am, do you need anything else? All attention was going to my husband. I don't have a problem with that. He's a handsome guy, but still, it was disrespectful. And my husband, he didn't catch on. He did not catch on. He didn't think nothing deep. Like, she's just being a waitress. Yeah, but she's only filling up your glass, sir. Okay? And come to the table every 10 minutes talking to you like I'm dead. You know what I mean? If I wanted to be Project Patricia, I could have went ham. You know what I'm saying? But I realized that as a woman, especially a black woman, we have to have better discipline over our emotions and how we react to things because, black women, we already got a defense mechanism. It don't take much for us to snap. But I kept my cool and I kept my composure. And I made sure when my husband left that $20 tip, I picked it right up from the table and put it in my pocketbook. Bingo, there you go. But anyway, I still like to say this. Women, we know women better than y'all do. Okay, that's why a lot of these men who do all this content on what women are, on what women be thinking, on what women motives, they would never truly understand women like women know women. Because you got to realize a lot of these guys are very biased because a lot of them got animosity and personal grudges towards black women. So the majority of the advice they give y'all is going to be very biased. They're not going to balance it. Yes, there are some black women who ain't shit, bottom line. Like there's some black men who ain't shit. But at the same time, you can't let your personal biases and your past personal bitter experiences with black men or black women make you do a platform in which you're always given advice or given content from a very biased perspective. You know what I mean? You have to be balanced. You know, even if you're a Republican instead of Democrat, you know what I mean? You still have to have a balance. That's basically what I'm saying. A lot of these red pill dudes and a lot of these divested sisters, they're just straight biased. Everything is from one side and one side only, because at the end of the day, it's all about proving that their narratives about black men and black women is correct. That's what it boils down to. But I'm digressing. Let me get back to what I was talking about. So anyway, a lot of you men have learned to numb out the disrespect. And the problem is, because you have accustomed yourself to that for many, many years, throughout the duration of you and this woman co-parenting, now that you are in a relationship and you have programmed this woman to handle and disrespect you, now the problem is anybody who gets involved with you, she thinks she can automatically treat them the same way. And when your wife goes off, or when your wife puts her in a place, or your girlfriend or whatever, then you feeling some type of way with your wife because you have learned to conform you have learned to conform to your baby mama's toxicity. That's what I'm saying. I know my words is all over the place, y'all. I ain't had my coffee this morning. My little frappuccino, y'all. I make my own at home. I can't afford that Starbucks anymore. But anyway, so the problem is when you get involved with somebody who, especially women, we can read when another woman is just trying to be messy and difficult. And the problem is what a lot of you men are not understanding is that it's very difficult for us as women to sit back and allow and tolerate your toxic baby mama to be who she is just so you can keep the peace. And what a lot of you men are not understanding is dealing with the disrespect and the toxicity. You're dealing with it because, again, I know men, y'all are allergic to drama. But what y'all are not understanding is you're not confronting the disrespect because that is your way of keeping the peace. Because in your mind, you feel like the moment you say something to her, the moment you check her, she's automatically going to sabotage the relationship you have with your child. Well, you can't come and get little Kiki. You can't come and see little JJ. So to keep the peace, you tolerate the disrespect. But what you're not understanding is, even though you think you're keeping the peace, your household is falling in pieces. Okay? Your marriage is falling in pieces. So while you're trying to keep the peace, realize your household is falling into pieces. Because meanwhile, you think you're making a decision that is in the best interest of you and your family, but meanwhile, your wife is miserable. And meanwhile, the baby mama, she's getting joy out of intentionally sabotaging your household. And because you're so asphyxiated on the fact that you're just glad you're able to see your child and spend time with your child, you're not caring how your wife, your fiance, or whatever is affected by your actions of what you allow the mother of your child to do. Okay? So that is the first issue at hand. You done made yourself numb to who she is. And I'm here to let you know that just because you don't learn to accept her being like that, it don't mean your mama, your brother, your sister, your wife, your fiance, we don't have to tolerate, toxic Tisha for who she is. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, you have to realize, and I'm about to step on some toes, baby. The comment section gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit. The bitter Bokeishas are definitely gonna get mad with me on what I'm getting ready to say. But before y'all do, hit the like button, because I'm putting y'all onto some game. There's not many content creators that's gonna take the time to do this type of content. So hit that like button. What a lot of you men don't understand, once you marry, I'm not talking about shacking up. I'm not talking about Your fiance who you gave that installment ring because you're trying to stall your ass down to the altar to marry her. So you gave her that installment ring to keep stalling her till you want to marry. You know who you are. I ain't gonna call you out. But that installment ring, you've been stalling too long. How long she gonna have that ring? It's been past 7 years. It's going on 10 years. I'm gonna need you to get together. Especially if this woman is helping you take care of your children from toxic Tisha and bitter Becky or whoever. I'm going to need you to get it together. But your wife specifically, because this is a spiritual union, this is a spiritual marriage, is a spiritual anointing, which means let no man divide what God has put together. Meaning, once you marry, your wife comes first before that child. I'm going to get out a few minutes to marinate. And I'm going to give it a few minutes for it to, penetrate for all the bitter baby mamas out there, because I know they already mad at me just off the strength that I said that. Your wife comes first. No different than a woman. When you marry a man and you have children, your husband comes before your kids. Now, let me reiterate. It does not mean that because your wife or your husband comes first that you deprive your children. If you got any wisdom and knowledge, you can put your wife and your husband first and still make sure your children don't want for anything. It does not mean buy your wife a Benz and your children around here looking like they're from the third world country, okay? Looking like they was found, off the street somewhere. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that as a mother you fix your husband plate first and he only the one that gets steak and potatoes while your kids get raviolis. No, fix your husband plate first, give him the steak, give him the mashed potatoes, and still give your kids the steak and mashed potatoes. The bottom line is, let me tell you why your spouse comes first. For all of y'all who gonna feel some type of way. First of all, your spouse is the only one who can carry you in the event something drastically happens. You lose your job, your wife or your husband has to step in and financially provide. God forbid you lose your mind. Your wife, your husband has to step in and has to start picking up your responsibilities. In other words, for everybody who's quick to get offended, how dare you say my kids come last? I'm going to tell you why. Because if something drastically happens, your kids cannot go get a job. Okay? Not when they still wearing pull-ups, not when they still in middle school and high school, still don't even know how to put their dirty drawers in a dirty hamper. And even the Bible speaks of this. It's common sense. You have to put your companion's feelings first. I don't care what toxic Tisha say. I don't care what bitter baby mama Brenda says. Your wife, what she feels comes first. Now, as long as she's not abusing your kids, maliciously hurting your kids, not taking care of your children, first of all, you don't even need to be with somebody who would bring any harm to your children. So let's not move the goalposts, because I know somebody's gonna come in the comment section saying something really stupid, like, but when if she don't like my child or whatever the case is. Listen, we all adults here. Use your common sense. I don't think I have to address every tiny exception to the rule, because we do know there's some men that are malicious. There's some malicious stepfathers. There's some malicious stepmothers. That's on the husband or the wife who's the father of your children. They have to have spiritual discernment on that. But what I'm saying is, your wife, your husband comes first, because at the end of the day, your partner, your companion, those are the ones who you're going to depend on, who you're going to need to help you with your children. You cannot do it by yourself. And a lot of you men not understanding is, it's very important that you don't allow the mother of your child to disrespect your wife, because listen, your wife has to help you keep those children. I've seen, and it amazes me how so many bitter baby mamas are so quick to want to disrespect the mother. Want to disrespect their husband's wife or companion, because your kids are going to be in the presence of this individual who you're disrespecting. And you do have some crazy people out there. Listen, people will treat you the way, people treat your children the way they feel about you. Very rarely do you have some people who can separate one from the other, because it's very hard, and it's even worse when the children are just as disrespectful as the mother. That's a double whammy. And again, some of you men, not all, let me say this, if it doesn't apply, you don't have to reply. I'm not saying all men have this issue. Certain men, some of y'all have an issue with allowing your baby mama to call the shots and run your household. Now, if you're not doing this, then you can disregard and you don't have to take in this message. But if this has been an ongoing issue that your wife has been calling out to you for years, that everybody's been saying to you for years, and if it's more than one person saying it, then obviously it's a problem. A lot of you men are not understanding that your wife comes first. You know, if she's coming to you and saying, I have a problem with how Keisha talks to me, I have a problem with how Keisha drops the kids off in the driveway and doesn't even ring the doorbell to see if I'm home. I have a problem, you know, with how, you know, we're paying child support, but yet she'll turn around and say, you know, I need this, I need that, I need extra stuff, I need you to blah, 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 I need, wait a minute, but we sending you, I mean, not to say we shouldn't do nothing else for the child because we're giving you child support, but you're taking advantage, you know. Your wife has a right to express how she feels, and you cannot get offended by that, because again, you might have made yourself numb to how toxic Tisha is, so you don't see nothing wrong with it. But if it affects your wife or your companion, you're going to have to do something different, because again, some of you men just want to keep the peace. But the peace shouldn't consist of your wife being disrespected, your fiance being disrespected, just so you can see little Kiki and little JJ. Okay, because this is the other issue. You know, it's a lot of men, you know, they don't want conflict, and they know that if they were to say something or address the woman, that she's gonna make his life a living hell with the child, especially if there's no court order, which makes it even more complicated, because that means toxic Tisha, little baby mama Brenda, she can make the rules as she goes, which is, I think that's one of the worst predicaments any man could put himself in. It's better if you do things court ordered. That way, whether if her life is going good or bad, it's not going to affect her mood and how she changes things between you and your child. Court order is court order. Meaning, whether if she's having a good day, a bad day, whether if she got a man or don't have a man, it won't influence or dictate how you get to see your child. Whether if you get married, whether if you don't have a woman, she won't get to decide when, where, and how often you can see that child. I really recommend you to get a court order, or definitely get it on paper. If y'all going to do it behind closed doors and not involve the middleman, not involve, you know, the courts or whatever, you're going to have to get something solid in writing with an attorney or something. Get it notarized, so in the event it has to go to the point to where you got to get child support order, just in order to get visitation or whatever, and not have to go through the drama having to kiss her ass and go through all this up and down emotional roller coaster. Then you'll have some type of documentation stating that this is how things were always set, this is how we always had things established until blase blase blah. Would you consider enforcing an order in which it still pretty much pertains to the order we've always pretty much done it? You get what I'm saying? So you have to back yourself up, you have to document, you have to do all of that or whatever. But you have to basically you have to be willing to understand that it's not just about you. Now, before you was married, yeah, you would have to tolerate and deal with it the way you've been dealing with it. But it's not just about you, and it's not just about your baby mama. You have to keep in mind that it actually has everything to do with, now you have a wife in which you're going to have to also understand where she's coming from. But yeah, I had a little quick phone call. But a lot of you men have to understand that, you need your woman, and it's not to say that your child is not important. It's not to say that your marriage is more promised to you than being a father to your child is less important. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you don't want to do anything that's going to discourage your partner from wanting to be there for you. Because when a person is being disrespected, especially, and you have to understand this, and a lot of you men, y'all have the tendency, y'all don't deal with things emotionally like women do. So in y'all mind, y'all think women, we need to be the bigger person and just accept your baby mama for who she is and how she is, because at the end of the day, you feel like that's not, ruining what y'all have. Okay, at the end of the day, you paying the bills. At the end of the day, you keeping lights, water, gas on. Y'all still traveling. Y'all still going on trips. A lot of times, men, y'all think y'all can just replace disrespect with things. You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, that's just how she is. We're not gonna worry about her. We got to do what we got to do. We got to move on. We got to move forward. And I get it. You cannot allow every little thing she does to affect y'all. But the truth of the matter is, it does. It just does. So it's very hard to be able to separate how somebody treats you, and at the same time, you still got to be great to their kids. You still got to treat their kids kindly. That's very hard. That's very difficult. To have to feed somebody else's child, take care of them, drop them off to and from school, and yet the mother is very disrespectful. We know you can't change the woman, and we know that you can't force her to tell your wife thank you or I appreciate it, but you do have to set boundaries. You cannot let her come at your wife all kind of way, disrespecting your wife. You definitely cannot allow her to make her think it's acceptable for her to teach the children to disrespect the wife as well. Some of you men, y'all think y'all children are such a prize to where y'all don't think they don't need to be corrected. They don't need to be disciplined. I've had a couple of women who reach out to me and tell me that, their husband has a disrespectful daughter, has a disrespectful son, and every time, they try to approach, them about it, man, y'all blow it off, man, that's just, that's just the way she is, or, she just got her ways like her mom, or Lil JJ, he does the same thing with me. I don't care if he does that with you, just because you made yourself adjust to the disrespect. That don't mean that I, should have to allow the same thing. You get what I mean? So that's the next thing. Another issue is that what a lot of you men don't understand is that when you go through it, it affects us. When your wife sees you being disrespected by your baby mama, seeing that she's cussing you out, talking to you like a dog in the street, just treating you like garbage, it makes us feel some type of way. Any woman who really cares about her husband, who really cares about her companion, her fiance, you're not going to be content with seeing him disrespected, because you have to realize, two are as of one. So if she's able to disrespect you, even though your wife is not there, verbally getting the curse words like you are, she's basically disrespecting your wife. She's basically disrespecting your fiance. When she disrespects you, she disrespects your whole house. That's what you don't understand. If she's up here calling you an a-hole, calling you a mother effer, calling you a no good bastard, what makes you think she don't feel that way about your wife? She don't feel that way about your fiance. What she feels about you is how she feels about your wife. So you cannot allow disrespect to be the norm. We cannot normalize that. We cannot use excuses like that's just the way she is. That's a part of her character. Listen, if you're going to call, if you need to talk to me about something, you're going to come to me respectfully. You're not going to disrespect me. If she's out there yada yada and she wants to scream or whatever, you hang up. She calls back and she still got that same energy, you hang up. It's like breaking a child. You can't be tired, You can't get tired of having to humble a toxic ass baby mama. You got to be consistent. You can't turn up on her today and then she talks nice tomorrow and you let your guard down, then she turns up on you next week and you back to having to reprogram her. It's very important. You cannot change how a person is, but that does not give them grounds to disrespect you. Period. Which brings me to my next issue. A lot of you men, y'all are afraid to really use the balls that God designed for y'all to have because you are afraid she's going to take your child from you. If I had to put a nickel in my pocket, every time I heard a woman say, my husband fears that if he puts his foot down, if he puts her in check, she's going to take his child from him. First of all, nobody cannot take something from you that is automatically yours. Okay? I don't care if she moves to Afghanistan. I don't care if she moves to the Netherlands. That would never change that you are the father of that child. A lot of men, y'all are fearful. Y'all are scared to put your foot down and let this woman know you're not going to dictate my life or my marriage based off the strength that because we have a child together, you feel like you can use my child as leverage, as a weapon to have your way. A lot of you men have created monsters because every time she's threatened to take the child away from you or take you to child support, you would get scared and basically stiffen up and humble yourself. And the thing about it is, a lot of these baby mamas, they are malicious. They know how to ruffle your feathers. They know how to really rattle you and get you upset because your whole demeanor changes. She sees the bitch assness in you every time she makes that threat. How you clam up. Or now you trying to bargain with her. Man, why I got to be like that, man? Why you trying to humble yourself to a woman that gets so much joy and pleasure out of seeing you sweat. Instead of you, well, if that's what you want to do, so be it. Now, I get it. I got to play devil's advocate. If you know you struggling, you ain't making that kind of money, I mean, you ain't got it like that to put it down, then, you may end up having to, deal with more than you should just to keep the peace. And this is why, as a man, your stuff has to be straight, in which you don't have to put yourself in a place in which you have to be humble to her because you broke, you struggling, your shit is not in alignment. As long as your stuff is straight, you can always put your foot down, and it don't matter when she decides to put a bullet in the chamber, you can handle it because you're not no, you're not no scrub. You're not no dude that's not on your A game to where if she decides to go for child support, you can't handle it. If she decides to go get a lawyer, you can't handle it. You can lawyer up too. You got all your ducks lined up in a row. I notice most guys that are afraid to make moves with their baby mamas are men who are struggling. Men who don't have this shit in alignment. When you don't have your stuff in alignment, it gives the baby mama room to do what she wants to do. And a lot of these women know. Some of these baby mamas know you don't got enough money like that. She knows that you scared of child support because you done let her know. You done tried to bargain with the devil. No, we ain't got to go to child support. I'll pay you. We keep the middleman out. Unfortunately, a lot of you men have pretty much, y'all have created monsters. Y'all done made these women scared. These women know that you are scared of them. They know all they got to do is send the magic words. I'ma stop letting you see my child. And it's funny how it's my child when she wants to dominate you, but when it's time for you to pay a bill or you to contribute, it's your child. Why you don't do for your child? When you gonna see your child? When she tired of the responsibility and she's tired of the burden, then it's your child, which brings me to my next point. Sometimes what you men are not understanding, you will get more respect out of these women if you leave her alone to carry the burden by herself. Meaning, if she thinks she's Miss Big Billy Badass and she got it all under control, I don't need you, I'm the mama, I'm the daddy, she feels like she can make it without you. Sometimes you got to let her tote the bag on her own. Meaning, not saying permanently walk from out the child's life and never have nothing to do with the child. But when the mother of your child is constantly disrespecting you, disrespecting your wife, disrespecting your household, causing a lot of problems in which you can't peacefully be there for your child. As the saying goes, in order for a person to appreciate your presence, they must first get to experience your absence. Sometimes these women know, in many cases these women know, that your children is your lifeline. They know you value your children, you love your children. So what better way to destroy a person than to take away something they love? Listen, it's no different than people who have broken the law. What the law does is, the law knows people value, citizens value freedom. Freedom of being able to go where they want to go and do what they want to do. So when a citizen breaks the law, robs a bank, for instance, how you make that person regret their actions is you take away something they love, which is their freedom. So when that person has robbed a bank and been sentenced to 20, 30 years, they lose their freedom. And the law knows that the only way they could prevent, in some cases, because we know a lot of people still go back and commit crimes or whatever, but you have to penalize a person somewhere in order to break a habit from reoccurring. We can't just let people rob the banks and allow them to keep doing it, and we don't lock them up, we don't take away their freedom. How effective it is if somebody robs a bank and has unalived the tellers, and the tellers who work in the bank, and they only do 2-3 years and they come right back out. You think they ain't gonna do the same thing? No, you take away their freedom, meaning they can't see their family, they can't see their friends, they don't have a house that they can go home to, they don't own a car no more. They basically belong to the state, which is the prison. Same thing when it comes to dealing with a baby mama. She loves controlling you. She loves making you miserable. So if you take away what she loves to control, which is you, guess what? There's nothing for her to use to her advantage. Some of you men would have got your respect long time ago if you would have peeled back and stopped coming around. Especially if you would have did it while the kids were younger. That way, by the time they got older, it would have been more to your advantage, where you could have explained and had some type of proof to display why you had to stay away the way you did. A lot of you men are not understanding. Sometimes something has to be sacrificed. Something has to be sacrificed. And I know some of you feel like, well, I can't do that. I don't want to let my child down. I don't want to let my son down. I don't want to let my daughter down. If I just walk away, even though I know she's disrespecting me, even though I know she's disrespecting my wife, even though I know she's making me miserable, I can't just walk away from my child. First of all, you can't walk away from your child, because that's your child. That child is going to always carry your blood. That child is going to always carry your name. That's going to always be your child. The only way that child is not going to be your child is if you pass away or that child passes away. Then that's final. Other than that, you stepping away from that child, being out that child's life temporarily, just so you can gain a peace of mind, keep peace in your household, and let her see and let her understand what it's like not having you there. Guess what? You losing anyway. A lot of basically, let me tell you something. A lot of you men, y'all have a relationship with y'all children, but at the same time, the BS you got to put up with, the disrespect, her jerking you around. You a grown ass man, and she's handling you like a little high school boy, playing mind games with you, telling you to come pick little Kiki up. You so excited, you run over there the first time she allow you to do something, because you don't have no balls, you don't have no kahunas, so you don't already let her know you willing to let her call the shots. You run over there to get little Kiki for her to tell you, oh, little Kiki don't want to go again. You run over there to get little JoJo for to say, little JoJo, he left to go be with his friends. She loves jerking you around because you done already displayed how weak you are when it comes to your children. And this is not to say that, you should not care about your child, you should not love your child, but the fact that, she keeps jerking you around and playing mind games with you and dragging you, it just goes to show that, you have created a monster. And listen, I've seen guys who did everything that baby mama say do, only for her to still turn around and take the child from him and not let the child have much of anything to do with it. So kissing ass does not always work to every man's favor when it comes to the baby mama. I'm like this. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose knowing I stood for something. The worst thing a man can do is to tolerate all the disrespect, tolerate all of, the toxicity, only for her to still turn around and still call the shots. If it takes temporarily losing out on being there with your children to reach a bigger goal, which is you're gonna get your respect, then that's a decision that has to be made. The truth is, a lot of these women, they cannot do it by themselves. As much as they try to act like they can, and unfortunately some women are in a position where they don't have a choice. I can't speak for those women, for the ones who don't have active fathers, but for you fathers, which is really who this content is for you fathers who are active, you need to let your baby mama carry the bag by herself till she get it together. And this is the thing, it's not going to be easy. You're gonna have to really be on your grown man shit, meaning you're gonna have to grow up 20 steps ahead more than she's ever been, because you got to realize you done created a monster. You can't let somebody become programmed to treating you a certain way for 20 years and you think you're going to break it in 2 years. It does not work that way. It takes a lot of time. Simple things. She's used to calling you and asking you out the blue to go get little JJ. And because you just so badly don't want to disappoint your child, you feel like you got to jump every time she tell you to make a move. And most of the time, it be the mamas pushing it more than the kids do. These women will sit up here and lie. JJ say you don't never call him. JJ say you never see him. A lot of these women be lying and making it seem like it's the kid who got a problem with everything when it's really them. Okay? For instance, if she knows she's always been able to call you and you drop what you're doing and you go and help her, and she continues to do that, you're going to have to, one of these days, when she calls you, spontaneously asking you to do something, no, I can't do that. I made plans. You should have called me the day before. From here on out, you're going to have to at least call me a week prior. But this is your child. What do you mean? Children need their fathers. She's supposed to need you at a time when you are ready. This is your child. See, women like to manipulate and play mind games. It's kind of like no matter what you do, she tries to find a way to rebuttal it, because at the end of the day, it's just all about, I just want to make shit complicated because I'm miserable and I like getting a rise out of you because I know how much you love your children. So therefore, any opportunity I can use to my advantage to make stuff complicated for you, I'm gonna do that. You have to realize some of these bitter baby mamas are very unhappy. They're miserable, because my thing is, a woman that's really happy with her life and sure herself, and she's happy in her space that she's in her life, she's not going to take the time out to just constantly be vindictive and malicious. You know why? Because she's happy and she wants to stay in her good energy zone. But the miserable, bitter, toxic Tisha, she's always miserable and always unhappy. So the only way she can find some joy or some pleasure is by stirring up what's going on in your life, calling you out the blue. When you going to get little JJ? Well, I got to go to work. Well, can't your wife get him? I mean, after all, that is your wife. So, any little thing that just try to make things complicated. Down to simple things. Want to throw a birthday party. You trying to talk to her about, okay, because y'all trying to discuss what to do for the birthday party. Okay, so where we going to have it at? Do you want to do it at Chuck E. Cheese or you want to do it at Leapfrogs? I'm tired of Chuck E. Cheese. Let's do it at Leapfrogs. Okay, all right. Okay, so we're going to do it at Leapfrogs. What kind of cake we going to get? I think he likes vanilla. She don't like vanilla. She likes chocolate. Every little thing when it comes to the child, because it's not about the child. It's not about the child. And that's what a lot of you men keep getting screwed. You thinking everything she says or does is about the child, when it's really about her trying to make things difficult for you. And if you can't read the room, you can't read in between the lines, you'll exhaust yourself and wear yourself out trying to run at her every command, trying to run at jumping on everything to please her, because you so scared that if you don't do what she say do, she gonna lock you out of your child's life for the rest of her days, for the rest of your life. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of these women, they cannot do that. As much as they try to act like they love their children so much, that's the trick to a lot of these women. A lot of these women, they don't even want their kids like you think. A lot of these bitter baby mamas, they not even crazy about their own kids. All it is the kids are used as a weapon to have control over you. A lot of these women don't even want their own kids. But another thing is, a lot of these women will get on you about what you're not doing as a father, what you need to be doing. A lot of them ain't even doing it. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I went to some of these women houses, some of them I know from around the way or whatever, how nasty they keep their house for their kids. How they will sit up here and say how the baby daddy is selfish, but if you go into their apartment, they section their apartment, you see they'll have a brand new sectional sofa from Rent-A-Center while their kids are still sleeping on box frames. These are the same bitter baby mamas that will sit up here and bitch and complain and call their daddy deadbeats, but at the same time, you go in her closet, she got all the Michael Kors, she got all the Coach bags, but when you go in the kids' closet, the kids ain't hardly got no clothes, hardly got no shoes. She don't even have a fitted sheet for them to put on their box frame. The kids just straight up sleep on the box frame. They don't even have a mattress. These are the same type of women who will sit up here and say their baby daddy ain't shit. They will say their baby daddy is deadbeat. But when you go in their house, the living room is so nasty, you got to play hopscotch because there's piles of mountains of clothes that haven't been washed in weeks. Truth of the matter is, a lot of these women don't even value having children. And just to keep it a buck, there's a lot of women who got children that they really don't want. They only had the children thinking the children was going to give them leverage and get you to stay in their lives. And now that you are not with them, they really don't have a purpose and trying to strive to become a better mother because they didn't have that child to really want to be a mother to begin with. They had that child to keep you as leverage in their lives. A lot of women have had babies to keep men. Every woman ain't had a baby because she wants to be a mother. There, I said it. A lot of y'all went whole 9 months having babies you did not want. You didn't even want them. And you know what? It shows, because when a man is no longer with you, you don't even take care of the kids. You don't brush their hair. You don't put no lotion on them. I can't even begin to tell you how many women post pictures on Facebook and Instagram and the kids don't have no lotion on. Their hair is not combed, not brushed. How many times have we went to Walmart and seen these type of females pushing these kids around in the buggy with no socks on, no shoes on? Because the thing about it is, a lot of women have had children to keep the man. They didn't want those children because they wanted to be a mother. And it shows, because when our father is not there, the children get neglected. A lot of women don't want to go there and keep it 100. But the truth is, everybody that has a child, it does not mean they are a mother. Just like you got dudes out here who got kids and they're not fathers. All around the board. A lot of women have children for meal tickets. Just to get housing, just to get Section A, just to get public assistance. And I'm not knocking, do your thing, but make sure your children ain't getting neglected just because you really didn't get what you wanted. A lot of women, they play these games, and then when it backfires, all of a sudden, their motivation to be a good mom, it ain't there. It's not there. But the truth of the matter is, before I go into conclusion, a lot of you men out here, when it comes to co-parenting, you really have to be careful that your choices don't affect the home front. A lot of y'all are so fixated on your children that you're neglecting your wife. You're neglecting your fiance. You have to have a balance. Don't become so consumed with not losing your child that you lose your marriage, that you lose peace in your household. You have to set boundaries. Stop, allowing things. It's called going along to get along. A lot of you men are trying to go along to get along because you don't like drama. Guess what? It's going to be drama either way. If it ain't going to be drama with the baby mama, it's going to be drama with your wife. You cannot please two women at one time. But what you need to be pleasing is the woman who you got to lay next to every night. Is the woman who has to cook for you. The woman who got the whole stuff down, and event you get sick or you lose your job because your baby mama not going to do that. Some of you got to peel back and let these baby mamas suffer. Because the truth is, when they children wear them out, and they will, when they get worn out and they have to do it all by themselves, at some point they will humble themselves. And for those who choose not to, then guess what? You'll have to wait to deal with the child when the child 18, 19, 20, however. In the meantime, ways you can get around it, you can go to the school, bring that child lunch, let that drop in on that child, because the baby mama not going to be there. That way, if you feeling so guilty, you won't feel like you completely depriving the child. There's ways you can get around it. Go to the child's school, bring lunch, go to their baseball game, put a few dollars in their pockets. It's ways where you can still be an active father, but it should not require being disrespected to be allowed to be a father. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get ready to shut it down because I've been on here about an hour. Anybody who needs a personal consultation, and you women and you guys, y'all going through this baby mama drama, I understand everybody's situation is different. And sometimes my content will not directly give you the answer you need for your specific situation. You are more than welcome to email me at cafedeparis79@yahoo.com. I will be glad to set up an appointment for a consultation. It's going to be $60 off the muscle, y'all, because my time is money. You feel me? And we're going to get together. I'll send you a link in which we can discuss everything that's going on pertaining to your situation. It will be a private consultation. It will not be live for other people to hear what's going on, but it will be a live stream specifically for me and you. Or ladies, you can reach out to me too, for you and your husband, because there's a lot of people going through this, and I get it. And I do have a lot of strategies. I do have a lot of effective solutions, but I cannot explain all of it in 1 hour. It's just impossible. So if you are currently going through baby mama drama, I'm an expert at this. Email me. We'll set up a time. We'll set up a schedule. We all can get together, because I really want marriages to be healthy and wholesome. I don't want marriages to be tainted by negative outside factors, something as simple as toxic Tisha, bitter baby mama Brenda, bitter baby mama drama. There are solutions, but the main thing is, if you're going to come to me, y'all both got to be on the same accord. If I feel one of you is not on the same accord, I'm not going to continue putting all of my energy into somebody who wants to be stubborn, into somebody, well, they're my kids, I don't want to lose my kids. Listen, until you really get to that mindset, don't bother me, don't email me, because I do not like having to put my energy into people that are stubborn as hell. We all grown, and listen, if you've been doing it your way for years and it hasn't worked, common sense tells you it may be time for you to seek guidance somewhere else and do it a different way. See how it works for you when you reach out to me. See if it works out for you. And if it don't work out, then go back to dealing with toxic Tisha the way you've been dealing with it. But I really, really think that a lot of y'all could have saved y'all marriage a lot of headaches long time ago if y'all would have had a third party who's biased to the situation, who can give you a better insight. So reach out to me. Email me. I'll be glad to work with you all. But like I said, time is money. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be on the phone for hours at a time. You get what I'm saying? You know, because I got things I got to do too. So I don't mind helping any of y'all out that's dealing with bitter baby mama drama. So anyway, hit that like button. Y'all got any questions, things that I probably did not address? Put in the comment section. Maybe I'll do a part 2. It all depends. But anyway, y'all enjoy y'all Friday. Again, I appreciate all the love, all the support. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I'm strongly considering doing call-ins for bitter baby mama drama issues. So it's not definite for sure, but I'm definitely considering it. If any of you guys feel like that would be a good idea to have a open live panel in which I can start, giving you guys the platform to be able to come onto the show and share their experiences with me. That way I can give them some guidance, and that would also be beneficial to other men who may be in similar situations. So I'm really thinking about start doing call-ins for men to be able to call in and seek advice from me specifically on how to deal with toxic baby mama drama. So anyway, y'all, thank y'all for hanging out with me. I'm going to get ready to shut it down. It is your girl, your diva and knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris. And y'all have a wonderful Friday, and y'all be blessed. Bye.